Hello traders, this is a DAX recap video for Thursday, October the 10th, and I believe this is a good day. This was a good day for many of you and for many traders. We had a pretty solid price action today, although it took a while for a price to move above main resistance. So this is the chart with the zones. These zones got adjusted, and this here, as shown in additional charts, was a gap down on futures. Now whenever you have a CFD chart, they are going to just connect that with some kind of candle. Obviously this is a artificial candle, a non-existing candle. It doesn't look like that. It looks like this. So in the future session, at the start of the future session, we got a gap down, but that gap down and this level here was they quickly bought that gap down, and quickly gap was filled. That is a indication that buyers are willing to accept these higher prices. When you observe this line and this as a main resistance zone that was tested already a few times, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and on today. So 4 days of testing this zone with market making higher lows. And again, indication of the market strength, of the willingness of market to make a breakout attempt. As any attempt, it can fail or it can work. We don't know that in advance, but this is the signs that buyers here are pushing this market higher. And now let's go to the chart, and once you observe the plan in the morning notes, and that market is making higher lows, the market are hungry for gains, and that if market makes a shallow pullback from main resistance, that would mean that it wants to go higher. Obviously, the several scenarios we had today, one of them was for market to just consolidate here, and there were also scenarios of moving higher or moving lower. So trend up day, that would be like immediate breakout, I'm sorry, of the main resistance, would look like from the open market immediately push higher, swiftly goes higher above the yesterday high level, test main resistance or yesterday high, just pushing higher and higher and higher. Obviously there wasn't a enough strength to do that, and first we got a push down into our main support zone. The things that you could observe during the session and additional levels that you could make on your charts and some comments are the following. In the morning notes I said about possibility of this breaks and false break. That false break could end around yesterday high or around 12,200. That was a former larger time frame level and also a closest round number. As you can see here on this 240-minute chart that I often showing you, this is the 12,200 level. Price was pretty good here, holding that level. Later it was negated, but still it is a level that market remembers as former axis line. Here was a resistance, here was a support, here was a support. And this is the thing that you could also put at your charts. So here it is. Look at this. Okay, next, where is the open? 9 a.m. This is the vertical line. Where is the US open? Here it is. So this here is US open, and after a while you can observe that market is just holding the price here. So what we had from the open, so this is the open here, we had a dip into this first support. This was marked as strong market above, but market was making here, this is a pre-market high, this is a pre-market low. First thing to observe here is how wide this pre-market range is. Pre-market range today was 100-point wide range. Usually when you have a breakout that is imminent from the open, it is going to be from the narrow pre-market range. Pre-market range that is stuck here below the resistance zone, and they were just going to do this, just balancing below the resistance, and immediately after the open they will go just poof higher and make a breakout. When you have a range in pre-market that is so wide, it is likely that first you are going to get some kind of dip. It could be a smallish dip just to this first zone, or it could be a bigger dip to the main support. And we got that. Both of them, in fact. First we got a dip here. So even this here could be taken as a long trade. But I said on Twitter, okay, you can take that and exit here. It would be a decent scalp trade for like 30 points. But you could also make yourself here a rectangle and just to observe this activity here. What are they doing in this range that they were making in the pre-market? So bottom of the range is at our strong market above zone. And I said in the morning notes, buyers need to keep, if they want to be dominant side here, they must keep the price above main support. And once we got the test of the main support, now this is a 5-minute chart, market spent 10 minutes here, so it was a good amount of time to entry here in the real time. Now some people didn't get a fill with resting orders that was on the middle of the zone or at back end of the zone, and sometimes you will not get a fill. But that is why if you want to trade with a resting order, then sometimes it is good either to have two resting orders, one that is going to front run the zone or be here at the top edge, and the second one near the middle or at the back end, and total stop loss like here, at total stop loss for both of those parts to be 1R risk. Or you could be more aggressive and accept bigger stop. In that case, obviously your risk reward is going to be so attractive, just to place your order like here with a bigger stop, like 50-point stop, and then to aim for smaller target, maybe for just 1.5 hour. So those are the things to keep in mind when you're trading with resting orders. Obviously sometimes you're not going to get a fill, and even if you are here at the top of the zone, sometimes market is just going to, that move is just going to die like 2 points in front of the zone. So anything can happen, but this was the school book trade, really. So after the open you could take this like an alternative trade just to scalp to the pre-market high, but this is here really a school book long. And now you're using this range as a first target, like to here. Second target obviously would be front running the main resistance zone. And it was here a pretty quick trade, because here market was like on 9:30 and here was on like 10:15, 10:20. So in less than 1 hour market made a 100-point move, and then they are starting to do this. Now this here is again balancing. Now they are balancing here between pre-market high and this main resistance zone. Now this is here a warning sign for sellers that are selling first test of the main resistance, which is obviously also a short setup and could be done. This is a warning sign for them to play some defense, when they are doing this, just to pull your stop closer, because from this market that is strong, they could go just this like poof to the main resistance, which was tested several times before, and just out of this balance to go immediately higher. We didn't get that today, so this was also a good trade. Again, zone to zone trade. Now from here you're targeting just this next zone to the downside. You could also make yourself a fib like this and observe that here is resistance around halfback, and later market just made here a rounded bottom. They never went down below 61.8. You can make yourself a fib later again to observe this. Look at this, 61.8 two times. They couldn't go below this zone. Now this zone again acting as support, and on any of these dips you could buy again. You could buy like here, again targeting this zone like this. You could buy later also. US Open is approaching. We know that from 3:30 p.m. Central European time, when we have a New York Stock Exchange open, they are the one, they are going to drive the bus. And that is why it is a good thing to observe that market a bit before, even a bit before they open, because overnight session on US markets is often deceiving, so it is better to look after they open, what are they going to do, and before they open. You don't really need to look at them the entire session, but you also could do that. So here is again entry for a long trade now, because we already had a test of the main resistance. This is happening like you have a push to the main resistance, and now slowly market is going down slowly. They are making a bull flag basically. They are not going below our strong market above zone, meaning what? They are strong, they are holding the price, and likely means at least to test the main resistance zone again and make a range there. At the end they made a breakout. So from here your targets are going to be this and this in front of the yesterday high, and you can make your targets like this. Obviously we didn't get to here, but that is the thinking behind this here trade. And when you observe US market, what they did, this is S&P. They were holding support here in the EU session. They were making a range, holding that range, and after their open was here, immediately push higher. That is the S&P. Same was on Nasdaq. So using that correlation also is helpful in these late hours for trading DAX. And this was very good day because we had first really good opportunity very close to the open. On 9:30 market was already here, and this is our long, and this was the trade of the day. And this was also a very decent trade with good risk reward, also these ones here. So plenty of really good setups, really good trades. And I know that when you look somebody else how he trades, executes, and so on, it always looks easy. But there are many traders that caught this move. Additionally, what can you do here? Observing this. This was the first test. Now market is breaking. Here would be alternative way for a seller to entry, although you could really skip that. Buyers are dominant, and here that would be a way to again buy this pullback, for more, and to target even from here. This is a entry on 145 to drive it to 200. It is 50 points here. So even this trade at almost 5 p.m. could yield you a 2R. And I already showed that on Twitter, but again, here is how one subscriber from UK handled this situation. He took this one, and this one. So it is good to milk these kind of days. This day was pretty easy and easy to understand. And even if you just had one trade out of these first three, it would be good enough. I had just this one, just this first long, and later I did some other things. And I will leave you at end of this video is going to be one of my favorite characters. This is of course Master Yoda. Do or do not, there is no try. I wish you good trading and